بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا ومولانا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا محمد وآله. It's Ramadan 1445. This is day 19 and 20 of Ramadan with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Let's talk about the heart and its vital signs. The heart's pulse is emotional. If you've ever seen an ECG signature, the electrical signals of the heart fluctuate, and that is the sign of it being alive. Otherwise, a flat line means death, and this is both the reality of the physical heart and the spiritual heart. سُمِّيَ قَلْبًا لِكَثْرَةِ التَّقَلُّبِ. It has been termed the qalb due to its frequency of oscillation. This is also why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam instructed us to say, يَا مُقَلِّبَ الْقُلُوبِ ثبت قلبي على دينك. O you who turns the hearts, make my heart firm upon your religion. Now the physical heart pumps blood into the physical limbs, but the spiritual heart feeds into the soul's faculties. So, how does the heart's signature feed into the soul's signature? The answer is that the way we construct meaning around our heart's experience is the soul's signature. And that construction of meaning is tasawwuf. The way we construct meaning is the basis of the deepest connections we make in life, both with our Lord and with people. Consequent to this is that if we're not people of meanings to begin with, we won't even have the capacity to foster connection on that level. And this is what is literally eating away at our core social networks of family and community. So in simpler terms, tasawwuf, when practiced properly under the guidance of a spiritual master, is the basis of all meaningful divine and human connection. Why? Because it's coming directly from the Sunnah. And that is the secret behind why we are exploring the facial faculties, because essentially what they are is the human manifestation of the spiritual faculties through which we construct meaning. We use sense perception to understand the physical world. Likewise, we use spiritual senses to understand the world of meanings. The prevalent state of moral decrepitude worldwide has stolen our faces. It's called the monoculture for a reason. Society is stripping us of our identities, and instead it's producing ego clones. And if you're following closely what I'm saying, you will derive even deeper meanings from the word choice. So turning our faces back to God, muwajaha, and deriving light from the Quran through the prophetic countenance is the cure. In Western culture, a soul-based connection is often only conceived of within a romantic context and also often out of wedlock. And this leads to a huge distortion of the soul's signature. From the Islamic standpoint, a romantic soulmate is not precluded, but it isn't the only form of soulful love. In fact, even as a spousal soulmate may hold a status in the life of a pious Muslim man or woman, commensurate to his own sheikh, but the very capacity to find and foster that sort of connection in the first place is based on spiritual rearing. So, if someone says to you, in kind of a medieval Islamic traditional fantasy love story sort of way, that you have a beautiful soul, then unless he is Imam Sufyan al-Thawri speaking to Lady Rabi'a, it could be real, but only because they exemplify tasawwuf in themselves. Radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma. But sadly, in the modern world, that remains a fantasy for most, due to the vastness of the soul's signature being constrained by the minuscule dimensions of the pixel. The worldly reality is that most marriages are based on the ego. And there are two possibilities within an ego marriage. Either it will thrive or survive. Now, it can only thrive within the realm of dunya. And the result will be that both spouses will gravitate toward the worldly. And for the first time ever, I will thank social media for substantiating this point by providing thousands of examples of ego-thriving marriages. Think of those posts of Muslim men and women, essentially flaunting their relationship online through public displays of affection, through trophy showcasing of their spouse, through monetizing on their expressions of love, and various other sorts of content meant to give the illusion of utopia. But the real concern is not even that, because that's obviously fake. The real concern is that so many Muslims, including those that self-identify as being religiously conscientious, they just eat it up, not realizing that what they're cheering on is an ego marriage, and not realizing that when their hearts lean toward these distorted displays, it imbues in them exactly what it is fostering in those spouses, which is a stronger connection to the temporal world and a desire for a spiritually unhealthy connection. So pardon me for this advice. Truly it is coming from a place of nasiha. But the next time you come across these posts, please don't be so eager to participate in this online orgy. Agreed? There is so much desensitization in the modern world that our basic emotional and spiritual vital signs, when properly measured, are showing severe anomalies. Sufis are the scientists of the celestial realm. This doesn't mean reading the stars. It means reading the earth through the celestial lens. So that is the first possibility of the ego marriage, thriving within a delusional context. And this is the substance of fairy tales and Disney delusions. It's a facade. Yet somehow, when it's a Muslim princess and Akhi charming, all of a sudden it's real and becomes the content of our dreams, subconsciously tampering with our heart signature. So we mentioned ego thriving marriage and the ego surviving marriage. Then there is the heart marriage, and there is the soul marriage, and there is even such a thing as a sir marriage. So this discussion is vast, and it leads us to an entirely new series of lessons to be delivered after Ramadan, entitled The Quranic Family, where we will employ the Tarbawi tafsir toward a comprehensive look at the spiritual dimensions of family and its indelible impact on faith and fitrah, both individually and collectively. It is our habit to begin great works at auspicious times, seeking through them the blessings of the divine gaze and favor. Thus, we have introduced the spiritual pillars of the Tarbawi tafsir in Ramadan on intent to expand upon their many celestial corollaries after Eid, insha'Allah ta'ala. May Allah grant highest tawfiq through the clarification of our thoughts, the purification of our hearts, and the beautification of our speech. Ameen. وصلى اللهم وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وآله والحمد لله رب العالمين.